Popular clothing styles like aviators to bomber jackets, combat boots to cargo pants, timepieces like field watches and pilot watches, and EDC gear like OTF knives and MOLLE-covered rucksacks clearly demonstrate the continual demand of tactical, military-inspired gear by the everyman. We do admit using the word tactical to explain anything remotely hyper-built has gotten a bit out of hand, so in this guide we're focusing on tactical gear, where military influence is observable, utility is certainly high, but also where good design principles haven't fallen by the wayside. In other words, great-looking pieces of kit, specifically fashioned to have your back in compromising or demanding situations that also won't look wildly out of place in everyday civilian environments. We'd also like to just operate in good faith right from the get-go to say that none of the high-consumption team members that worked on this guide is currently or ever have been enlisted in the US military. But you can't deny the allure and obvious impact of military influence within the civilian gear space, and thus the reason for assembling this guide of what we consider to be the best tactically inspired EDC essentials. So with that being said, let's take a close look at our first tactical EDC essential from Kershaw with their latest OTF, the Livewire. Kershaw continues its collaboration with Washington-based knife maker Matt Diskin with the fully American-made Kershaw Livewire. Since Diskin's focus lies in automatics, this particular partnership makes complete sense and has produced a hyper-premium, US-made automatic OTF, or out-the-front knife, with a 3.3-inch CPM MagnaCut single-edge spearpoint blade, black anodized 6061 T6 aluminum handle scales, and of course, the made in the USA out-the-front automatic deployant, designed by Kershaw and Matt Diskin themselves. Compared to other notable OTFs, the Livewire does a great job of balancing build quality, ease of use, and a stealthy, EDC-friendly design that just about anyone would be able to operate and carry. That is, in a state where it's legal to do so. Of course, before pulling the trigger on an automatic OTF, make sure you do your due diligence to make sure a purchase like this is legal and isn't in violation of any local or state laws, as there are a handful of states where they are legal with blade length restrictions, some which require licenses or permits, and others that simply ban them outright. Dimensionally, the Livewire stands at 4.8 inches with the blade fully retracted and 8.1 inches with the blade deployed, with the whole design weighing it at 3.1 ounces in hand, which is just a touch lighter than other notable tactically leaning automatic OTFs. The blade thickness here measures at 0.125 inches, so it also offers a good degree of versatility. We'd certainly say the Livewire rubs shoulders with other notable OTFs in terms of design details, like the terrace sliding thumb button, for example, arguably evoking what many consider to be the eminent OTF on the market, also crafted stateside in the mountains of western North Carolina. All in all, the deployment is snappy, there is very little blade play when it's completely extended and locked, and you're getting the most balanced and high-grade American-made super steels with MagnaCut conjured into existence by Laren Thomas in 2021. That maintains very high marks across toughness, with an HRC between 60 to 64, and excellent edge retention and corrosion resistance. Speaking to the in-hand feel, the Livewire's ergonomics are decent, but not necessarily a defining feature. But we did like the groove machining on the side of the scales and the lining grip points on the bottom and top, and also the geometric chamfers toward the front. In 2010, Avi Goldstein, a New York City-based paramedic, felt a need to create everyday carry tools for rescue, first responders, and survivalists he felt weren't available to the general public. His first tool, the T3 Tactical Auto Rescue Multi-Tool, has been a defining product in his catalog and has since expanded with a few other useful EDC survival creations. The one we're focusing on today you can think of as an abbreviated version of the T3, the SuperVizor XT Auto Escape Tool. The SuperVizor XT is a 2-in-1 tool, building in a carbide window punch aided by a rubber grip handle on the 180 that glows in the dark, and this J-shaped 440 stainless steel seatbelt cutter. The XT is a great unit to keep tethered in your vehicle as it ships with a custom sheath and an adjustable strap that easily tethers onto any front visor. Situated within Magpul's DAKA line, the Essential Wallet is a no-nonsense card holder with a 3 to 7 card capacity that makes room for, well, only the essentials, that forces you to prioritize which cards you carry. Magpul is well known for their firearm accessories and tactical gear, like firearm stocks, grips, and magazines, but they also carry a few pieces of hyperbuilt EDC gear, and this card holder is a great example of the caliber of products that they manufacture. Because of its limited capacity, the Essential Wallet demands intentionality and prioritization, which to us is certainly a tactical idea. Careful planning is part of the word's definition, so the way in which it was meant to be used is certainly on brand. We also think it's a pretty damn tough looking wallet, with a clean industrial look, one made possible by the use of die-cut reinforced polymer textile, with a fine anti-slip texture and durable protective RF welded seams that in total clock in at just 3mm thick. When we think tactical, we also think reliable, and in our book, reliability in terms of your gear when it comes to important, potentially life-threatening situations is extremely important. Rhino have had many years of the same thoughts, so they've built a catalog of EDC tools with Tritium integration to use reliably time and time again in the dark for years without maintenance or battery swaps. Through its process of gradual beta decay, tritium's emitted electrons react with a phosphor inside these tubes or cells, and that maintains a constant reaction that produces a subtle but sustained glow. Building small amounts of this material into the dials of watches, or in this case into the handle of a pry bar, is a great way to increase a normal EDC tool's overall utility. Think of this tool as something you could easily locate in a dark glove compartment or a dark toolbox, or maybe even in a dimly lit social gathering if you have a need to uncap your favorite brew. Its versatile flattened tip can also be used as a box opener, a scoring tool, or even a flathead screwdriver, and the lanyard hole on the 180 makes it easy for the tritium pry bar to live among your keys. Tactical can also just as easily mean calculated or well-planned, so our next pick from Pelican is a personal utility ruck case you can use if you anticipate getting stuck with sensitive gear in inclement weather, or intentionally compromising environments. The IP68 rated R4 personal utility ruck case is a 9.8 inch long by 6.12 inch wide by 2.89 inch high 1.liter case to store anything you think could get damaged by shocks, bumps, dirt, or moisture. Pelican wraps the abrasion and impact-resistant ABS outer with strategically placed rubber guards and bumpers to even further minimize shocks that would transfer to the interior. The interior is even further protected by a rubber guard around the perimeter, and it comes with a divider tray to secure down a few pieces of gear, and this top plate covers a lower open compartment as well. On the interior of the top face, you have a silicone beaver tail-like mesh that also provides a bit of organization and is large enough for a standard-sized pocket knife or even a multi-tool. Built-in pressure valves is a feature that you'll find on most Pelican cases. With these fully sealed weatherproof units, air pressure can become an issue if they're closed at one elevation and then opened up at another extreme. That is, if they didn't include an equalizer. This little valve under this front latch allows air to equalize while still keeping water, dirt, and debris out of the interior. Taking inspiration from the blazing blue flames that radiate from fighter jet exhausts, the XIKAR Tactical Single Jet Lighter is an overbuilt, in all the best possible ways, portable lighter that throws a bright blue, albeit much smaller, 10mm single jet flame. The XIKAR Tactical Single Jet Lighter comes completely blacked out with a body that maintains plenty of grip points, a crenulated cap, just fancy for wavy, that can also double as a cigar or cigarette holder, and a pocket clip for holstering in a pocket or on a swath of MOLLE. To activate the flame, XIKAR built in a trigger mechanism on the lighter side. Toward the bottom, you can adjust the height and intensity of the flame with this large control wheel, and also keep an eye on your fuel level with a transparent view of the reservoir inside. You're probably curious, as we were too, about how long it takes to completely spend a full tank of fuel, and we ran a quick test to find out. Well, we found out that after a few minutes, the metal trigger mechanism gets very hot. Shocker. But what was actually shocking is that you could easily exceed 5 minutes of continuous use with a full 10mm flame, its maximum setting, before the tank bled dry. We're not sure of an application where you'd ever need to do that, but if you only use it occasionally, just imagine how long a full tank would actually last. It's well established how tactically important a flashlight is in the armed forces or law enforcement, but their utility bleeds well into civilian application as well. They can be incredibly important safety and emergency tools to deter theft or worse, or get you out of other life-threatening situations. One of our favorite tactical flashlights comes from Olight with the Warrior X3 that offers 2500 lumens of brightness, a 560-meter throw, and a glass-breaking blue bezel made possible by 3 inset zirconium beads. The 5.9-inch aluminum body renders the X3 at 9 total ounces with both the battery and the Warrior ring installed in and on the torch. This Warrior ring provides an additional grip point and tapers off sharply to provide another strike tip point, although this one is not intended to break glass like the zirconium beads inset within the front bezel. A Type 3 anodization also makes the body incredibly hard wearing, and it maintains an official IPX8 rating that makes it fully waterproof. The X3 comes with a slew of useful utilitarian features that make its one-handed operation even more useful, including a vibration battery indicator to let you know when the 5000 mAh battery's 8-hour total capacity is running out, and a toggle switch built into the torch's base that doubles as a magnetic charging port used to cycle through its modes, of which there are two, 2500 lumens and 300 lumens as a high and a low setting. Olight makes a wide range of tactical flashlights, and most are built to mount directly to a firearm via a range of different attachments. The X3 is no different, so you can go check those out on their website if you're in need of a tactical mounting solution. Los Angeles-based Codeofbell was founded to create what they call carryware, stylish, innovative, and intuitive solutions for the everyday world and the everyman, each carry solution with designs that toe the line between tactical and technical silhouettes. One of our favorites from the Cross line, abbreviated X, is the CrossPod 2 Sling Pack, a highly technical crossbody sling that has just enough capacity to wrangle your daily EDC tools in a form factor smaller than a backpack but equally utilitarian. The CrossPod 2 ships compressed, and you can use it this way in the baseline 2.3 liter capacity configuration right out of the box. But with the aid of a slew of compression straps, the capacity increases to a total of 7 liters if you have quite a bit to carry with you. The outer 14-inch length, 5-inch width, and 6-inch depth is stitched together from a mixture of X-Pac, Recore RN66 100% recycled nylon, and a custom-made orange ripstop for the interior. The tactical technical silhouette does make the CrossPod 2 seem a lot more complex than it actually is. Essentially, it has 2 main pockets with 3 additional but much smaller ones. The first and largest has 2 zippers, one on the front and one on the top, both with ample water protection and both with sharp hypalon poles. And inside is undivided real estate with a built-in key leash. Just behind this main compartment is a smaller but equally useful secondary compartment with far more sub-organization in the form of elastic mesh pockets and zippered mesh pockets that's obviously aimed at smaller EDC. Now, Codeofbell does not skimp on the hardware. Working our way from the front to the back is probably easiest to show all of its inclusions. So on the front face are 2 compression straps that are tethered on the top and bottom with hypalon webbing loops. These compression straps can be completely removed via the snap buttons or just adjusted in terms of length to accommodate the loadout of the main front compartment, and come with these highly technical looking buckles. On the sides of the sling are buckles with on-brand X-shaped or cross-shaped buckles to keep the endpoints tethered to where the back panel feeds into the strap. And the main crossbody strap comes with premium Fidlock V-buckle hardware that's easy to engage or orange nylon interior that would be a good place to store a phone or perhaps even a wallet. Plutonite sounds like some alien element that crash landed on the back of a meteorite, but it's actually just a naming convention that Oakley gave to their proprietary purified polycarbonate lenses that are widely available on a slew of their sunglasses and maintain just as much clarity as your standard non-polycarbonate variants. We have dark gray Plutonite lenses on our next tactical EDC essential, the Oakley M frames. But you can also pick these up with 2 other lens choices, one clear version and one VR28 version, that provides what Oakley calls optical armor for night and low light shooting. Each version comes with an incredible amount of impact and shatter protection, as do the M frames themselves. The gray lenses specifically sport 17% light transmission and block UVA and UVB rays up to 400 nanometers in wavelength. This is the size large that spans about 134mm in width by 35mm in height, with arms that extend back 145mm far past the temples and tuck comfortably behind the ears. They also sport a gentle curvature that does a nice job of providing just the right amount of pressure to keep them from falling off your face in any prone position, where gravity might otherwise unseat a lesser pair. The rubber nose bridge also builds in considerable padding with a high bridge fit to accommodate most shapes and sizes, although Oakley does provide these suggestions that M frames are best for those with a high nose bridge and lower cheekbones, and are a good choice if the bridge of your nose is above the level of your pupils. There are a lot of tough-looking tactical pens, but the best of the best go beyond the external and function as hard-wearing utility tools with a sharp point for breaking glass or to use as a self-defense weapon. The Investigator pen from Hinderer Knives, born from the mind of Rick Hinderer, is our pick for the best tactical pen. It's one that's been around for just over a decade and one that continues to impress despite the steep competition year after year. We'll take you through why this is one of our favorite tactical pens. First, the look and feel. Hinderer uses a stonewashed titanium that gives the Investigator a rugged, matted look. Next is the machining for grip. As the Investigator is both a pen and a self-defense utility tool, it'll be held in 2 different ways, as a normal writing grip and a full in-hand palm-style grip, when wielding as a weapon or glass breaking tool. As such, the Investigator has both horizontal grooves and vertical grooves. The horizontal ones framing the vertical grip point help with the full hand grip, while the vertical machining is purpose-built for extended riding. Now, the Investigator uses a double-sided system. On one end, there are threads for a few different utility caps, which Hinderer supplies, like the sharp point here. On the 180, a threaded cap protects the pen tip, which in this case is made possible by an internal Fisher space pen, and it's pressurized. As overbuilt and tough-looking as the Investigator is, it's really built with care. Each component is machined with state-of-the-art CNC and CAD/CAM tech. And as a last note, the Investigator largely took the top tactical pen spot because of the modular design. You'll have a hard time finding another tactical pen that provides the opportunity to swap tips, let alone with this much attention to detail and finish. A multi-tool by definition is a highly tactical piece of EDC if you define tactical as we did in our introduction, pertaining to ensuring you're ready and well equipped with the tools you need for any and all situations that are thrown your way. We think the fully American-made Leatherman MUT, standing for Military Utility Tool, is one of the best, and also Leatherman's few purposely designed tools for tactical application, although there are plenty of arguments to be made that most of their multi-tools are equally capable. That being said, Leatherman builds in a few dedicated tools among the 16 total, specifically for cleaning, adjusting, and otherwise maintaining a firearm. So here's what you get. Needle nose pliers, regular pliers, premium replaceable wire cutters and hard wire cutters, stranded wire cutters, electrical crimper, a 420 HC combo knife, a saw, replaceable cutting hook, a hammer, a bolt override tool, replaceable bronze carbon scraper, a number 8 through number 32 cleaning rod and brush adapter, replaceable firearm disassembly punch, a carabiner and bottle opener, and a large bit driver. The bronze carbon scraper, disassembly punch, bolt override tool, and the standard screwdriver and Torx bits are especially handy for military gear adjustments, with the other standard inclusions only sweetening the pot. The 5-inch MUT is awash in a full black oxide coating and uses a mix of mid to upper grade steels like 420 HC and 154 cm, and bronze for the scraper tool that visibly stands out in contrast. And like Leatherman's other multi-tools, the MUT also ships with a standard MOLLE sheath to keep the multi-tool holstered on the hip. If you're in search of a tactical pack, Mystery Ranch is the de facto choice. Not only have they supplied actual Special Forces units with mission-capable backpacks and rucksacks, they offer them up for civilians as well to carry and use as they see fit, making them excellent, hyper-built carry solutions for actual members of the military, first responders, law enforcement, survivalists, or outdoor recreationalists, particularly tough on their gear. The Mystery Ranch 2-day assault pack is geared toward the latter half as a non-military but equally capable sized-down version of their popular 3-day assault pack. That makes a bit more sense for everyday carry but still maintains all the ruggedness Mystery Ranch is known for. The 2-day assault pack sports a daily carry-friendly 27-liter capacity via a 21-inch height, a 12-inch width, and an 11.25-inch depth, sewn together from 500 denier cordura. This mid to upper range capacity would also make it a great option for travel as well, as it could certainly hold a few days worth of gear for an extended weekend trip or short backpacking trip. On the exterior, you have the same Y-shaped 3-zip design we saw on the 3-day assault for quick, seamless access to the interior, protected by YKK AquaGuard zippers. One thing we did notice here that's a bit odd is the intentional choice for waterproof zip tracks, but the point at which the zippers actually meet leaves an unprotected access point for water to easily get past. While it looks cool, functionally we're not so sure. 5 rows of MOLLE adorn the front face, 2 elastic water bottle pockets on the pack sides, a handful of compression straps across the bag, and the whole rug pack maintains its structure by way of a full-length and fully adjustable hard plastic frame sheet system that runs on the interior of the lightly padded back panel. Adjacent to the back panel is a nearly full-length water-protected zip that opens to a suspended laptop sleeve for devices up to 15 inches. The interior is a pretty simple affair with a cavernous main compartment flanked by 2 zip mesh pockets and access to the laptop sleeve, the one you can also access from the back panel. Here's what we packed away. We packed away a water bottle in one of the 2 elastic compartments hugging the side of the pack, an automatic OTF attached to the plethora of MOLLE on the pack's front and sides. We threw it on here just as an example, of course, but you can stow it away on the front side or within a pocket if you don't carry it on your person. On top, within the 2 medium water-protected pockets, we tucked a card holder, a lighter, an extra knife, a flashlight, and a multi-tool. Undoing the compression straps on the front face allows you to undo the Y-shaped zip lattice, revealing the main real estate. The side panels are symmetrical, both sporting small water bottle pockets and 2 mesh zip compartments, which we'll circle back to in just a second. Some tactical gloves, a fixed blade knife, a small bushcraft hatchet, a first aid kit, a jacket, a small waterproof utility case fit comfortably within the unorganized space. There are also 2 other small zips on each side panel where you can organize smaller EDC like a notebook and a pen or a flask. And built into the back panel is a suspended laptop sleeve. We chose to opt for a second laptop sleeve to keep our 13-inch laptop extra protected, but there's enough padding where you'd be just as safe without one. You can also access the sleeve from the exterior back panel as we mentioned before. Its hardware is fairly standard and could have probably benefited from a few more metallic additions to render them even more hard-wearing. But there's a weight trade-off to any swaps like that, and one of the bag's more positive attributes is its lightweight feel on body at just 3 pounds unpacked. We also wouldn't be at all mad if the included removable waist belt came with a bit more padding, but it's still highly usable with a width around 1.5 inches. Our last tactical EDC essential is a trusty G-Shock. Extremely well regarded for its hard-wearing properties, exactly as intended by its creator Kikuo Ibe in the 1980s. The GW9400-1 is colloquially referred to as the Rangeman, and has roots dating back circa 2013, remaining, apart from a select few lines like the Mudmaster perhaps, one of the most hyper-performing and hard-wearing G-Shock lines in production. If you boil it down, the Rangeman is aimed at folks who live and breathe in the outdoors, who regularly wander past the boundaries of the trail, purposefully or on accident, as the GW9400-1 builds in altitude, barometric pressure, temperature, and direction readings as a compass via a trio of purpose-built sensors. Apart from these custom functional inclusions, the Rangeman ships in a recognizable G-Shock form, with a large 53.5mm diameter, a 55.2mm lug-to-lug, and an 18.2mm thickness, with a case and bezel fashioned from a black resin that maintains a 200-meter water resistance and G-Shock standard top-of-the-line shock resistance. Cycling through its features is as easy as using the sensor button provided at the 3 o'clock that functions as a pseudo-crown, with each category emitting an audible tone to let you know which sensor is active without ever having to look at the Rangeman's dial. Keeping the Rangeman powered and its reserve topped off is a solar-powered quartz movement. Let's throw out a hypothetical. In a crazy situation, if you only had a chance to charge it once and never again after that, you could expect an impressive 8 months of normal use before the battery went dead. And to close out, a sincere thank you for sticking with us to the end as we highlighted our favorite tactical EDC essentials. Be sure to check out our accompanying editorial guide as well, and as always, let us know below if there's any other tactical gear worth considering to keep your preparedness at its best.